Hello and welcome to another day in paradise, and welcome to another edition of the Unapologetic Negropian. In today's video we're going to react to the video that was posted by Cathey herself. It is an old video. It is a video about a reportage, an expose which was written by a British reporter by the name of Cathey. He went to the Gambia. Well, I'm going to allow him to tell you what he saw.
Just looking at the title, The Gambia Has Become a Brit Paradise. Take us through that title and how you came upon the story.
Well, I was actually in the Gambia covering a different story, but whilst I was there, it became very apparent, and you'd see it all the time, that there were a lot of older Western men who were caring for young Gambian children, and that was obvious because of it's very clear from how they look, but it's almost definitely the biological father. So this caught my attention, and the more we looked into the story, the more it became apparent that the Gambia has a serious child problem, and a serious problem with tourists travelling there with the specific intention of abusing.
Now, when I watched this full South African news report, I became almost physically sick, because I thought to myself, here we are, all these YouTubers running around, beating our chest, acting as if we're something, but we're nothing. We're nothing. If we can't protect the children on that continent, we are less than nothing. We are worthless. And I'm telling you this now, something needs to change. And this is the reason why I'm making this video today. I'm not here to start pointing fingers. I'm not here to start blaming people. It's something we've done very well on YouTube for the past year. We've all been very good at pointing fingers at one another. Meanwhile, people from the country where I was born and other Western countries have been going to the country that we adore, the country that we love. They've been going to the Gambia. They've been treading over everybody's sovereignty and using and abusing the most precious assets that we have in that country. I can't believe that it's happened under my nose, but I'm going to explain to you why I don't know. I knew that it might be happening, but the sources just weren't reliable for me. Plus, because there was no outrage, I didn't bother looking into it myself. Okay, so, like I said, we are all responsible for these children. All of us are. I don't care what part of the African continent or the African diaspora you're from, we are all responsible for them. What you cannot do now is look at it the way the Westerners look at it, right? We cannot say, oh, okay, this tiny piece of land which was, which borders was drawn by some European guy, probably a British guy, that, oh, it's their responsibility, they need to take care of it. I'm going to tell you this now. Those people, the governors, the authorities, I say that very loosely, in the Gambia are not in control. They are puppets. And let me tell you why. It's because you have people coming over there now from the UK and from the rest of the Western countries, like, the Scandinavia and Western Europe. And they're going there in their droves. I'm going to call them P-fills. You know what I'm talking about, right? The P-fills. The P-fills are coming from everywhere. And they have descended on this little country. And it's a tiny country. So everybody knows everybody. They've descended on this country and they are walking around blazing with our most precious little ones. Like it's nothing. Without a care in the world. No fear. They have no fear. Do you want me to tell you why they have no fear? You would probably be able to answer this one for yourselves as well. The reason why they have no fear is because they believe that they'll never have any recompense from the people that live there. They genuinely, and I'm telling you this now because I don't want to put Gambians down now. But I know the way these people think because I grew up with them, right? I lived in their country. I know what they are like. They think that the people there are jellyfish. Spineless. Toothless. I can do whatever I want. They're going to do nothing. Look at these pictures. Look at these pictures. Look at the way they look at their body, their body language. Do they look afraid? Do they look scared somehow? Yeah? Or do they look like they're constantly looking over their back? No, they're not. They're not afraid of anything because they don't believe anything will happen. Well, things need to change. And this is why I'm here today. I'm not here to blame people. I'm here to look for a solution. A concrete solution, one that doesn't involve the authorities because you're wasting your time if you even think about the authorities. Right now I'm going to play a segment of this video so you guys can listen to yourself and the reasons why we need to take this into our own hands.
Well, I mean, I can tell you with absolute certainty that the people who are travelling to the Gambia to commit these crimes are not facing justice, and that they're not being arrested, they're not being prosecuted. And that's an absolute fact because, I mean, if you go through the case histories, there are very, very few cases where these people ever see a courtroom or the inside of a police cell. The one case I could find was a Norwegian man who was already a convicted child offender in Norway. He travelled to the Gambia, he wormed his way into a family there, a large number of children, was arrested, was put in jail, but then he was pardoned by the president for reasons that have never been explained. And I mean, that is shocking and it's outrageous, and that is something that needs to change. I mean, they now do have the laws in the Gambia to prevent this kind of thing, but for some reason they're not enforcing them. And that is what one very clear and obvious way the government could take action is just to make use of the laws they've already created, but for some reason they're not doing that. Reaction
from the government, has there been any reaction? And, has there been any explanation as to why they're not using or enforcing their laws?
The only reaction I've had is from the tourism board, who have described my article as malicious. And that was upsetting to me because there was nothing malicious about my article. My article was born out of concern for children and out of a wish to raise awareness for what's happening there, and out of concern with a situation that I witnessed with my own eyes. But what I did see was how easy it is for Western tourists to gain access to tiny Gambian children. I mean, in my country, if you approached a family and said, "Can I spend a day or a week with your child?" they would say no. Unless they knew you really well. But it seems like in the Gambia, because of the economic situation there, people can turn up, complete strangers, and spend time alone with young children. And that, for me, was hugely concerning. And I imagine in the Gambia, there's probably a temptation to try and cover this up because it makes the country look bad. But I think if it happened, that'd be really, really sad because this is something they need to come to terms with, and they need to address it. And they need to do it sooner rather than later before more children are harmed. I mean, you can never protect all children. It goes on in every country all the time. It happens in my country, it happens in your country. But if you're not prosecuting, if you're not even trying to prosecute people who are doing it, and you're not taking a very proactive and public stance against this, and if there's any temptation to try and cover it up, that's wrong. And the people in power have to realise it's wrong and go after the people who are trying to harm your children, your own country's children. That's what any good government would do.
Has there been any reaction from the British government?
No, sadly not. And there don't seem to be any British law enforcement agencies that are actively working in the Gambia. I've contacted the National Crime Agency about this with the simple intention of handing over my photos to see if they could identify any of those men who are pictured, and if any of them are known to them, which to me seemed like quite a common sense step to take. But they haven't wanted to engage. In fact, they refused to.
And that is the reason why we cannot go through the authorities. Now, let me react to some of the things he said. He said that there doesn't seem to be an easy solution. Well, I disagree with Graham on this one. I do believe there is a pretty simple solution, and that is to change the environment, right, that these people operate in. We need to make this environment, the Gambia as a country, the most toxic, the most hostile place for PFILs. There's a reason why these PFILs are not doing it in the West. Okay? Well, they probably are, to be honest with you. I don't know why they don't get away with it in the West. But there's a reason why, and that's because they know that the people will hold them to account. And this is a strange thing. I know Gambian people, they are plenty capable of eking out their own public justice. We've seen them do this. But they normally do it to people who they call witches, and they're not targeting the real witches, the real evil which is coming to their country. They're not targeting them. And this is what bothers me, because Aunt Cathey was the one who said all this. And she was right. She was right all along. And we ignored her. And there is a reason why we ignored her, which is why she is partly to blame for this. Her disgusting way, her inability to communicate, like an adult. She couldn't even speak in a way which would bring people together and offer them a way to sort of put together a solution. Put the children first. Not put your own feelings, your own anger, your own feelings towards the people there for letting it happen. That's not going to change anything. And clearly, it has not changed anything. Since January, since Thomas Cook, one of the United Kingdom's largest holiday operators went bust. Since they've gone bust, and the Gambia is in disarray right now at this moment. Summer's coming up. This would be the time in which everybody would be going to the Gambia. You got a lot of old people that generally tend to go there now, but during the season, everybody goes there from the UK. It's a former British colony, so everybody goes there, right? They have that link. And right now, that is not looking like it's going to happen. So people are going to be desperate in the Gambia. And the thing is, we've got people going over there to exploit this very situation. And it's not just people who are going there to exploit the house prices or exploit the fact that now that there are going to be businesses that are going to be put up for sale, because they're not going to be able to survive the season. It's not for any of those reasons. Well, actually, it's partly for those reasons, but it's also for other reasons as well. The PFILs. Those people also are coming down to take advantage of this and take advantage of this situation. But I can almost guarantee you that they wouldn't come if they thought they were going to get justice served immediately. The authorities are just as desperate as the people there. They are the most corrupt politicians in the whole of Africa. And when I mean by corrupt, I don't mean like they take hundreds of millions of Delassie or whatever out of the economy, which they probably do. I don't know. I don't have any evidence of that. What I mean by they are the most corrupt, I mean that they are the ones who take the most advantage out of the situation that their people are in. They are the ones who ultimately use the people of the Gambia. Those are the ones who are ultimately to blame. I mean, just listen to the way this guy was managed to get out of prison. Do you reckon that would ever happen in the UK? If this guy got caught in the UK, they would lock him up and throw away the key. And they would have to lock him up because if any of the other prisoners got to him, it would be game over. Game over. The fact that this guy managed to go to prison in the Gambia and walk out unscathed, that tells you everything. It tells you everything you need to know about what is going on in the Gambia. This reporter also spoke to the head of tourism in the Gambia, and of course, he was met by a brick wall. He was met by an angry politician telling him that all he's doing is he's telling lies and he's disrupting the businesses. And what is going on with these people? What is going on with these people, with these politicians? Do they truly believe that the people of the Gambia are that stupid? Do they think that the people of the diaspora are that stupid? It's clear that they have absolutely no intent of doing anything about this. Not the authorities anyway, which is the reason why we need to take matters into our own hands. Ask yourself this: why should you need to even try and persuade your government to take care of its children? Do you not find the situation a little weird? I find that very, very weird. I find it very strange that you would have to somehow coerce your government into spending money to make sure that these criminals don't come to their country and abuse the most precious assets in that country. And I'm being very careful with my words, people, because I have to be. The fact is that the vast majority of the men who are going to the Gambia to commit these crimes, well, where do you think they're from? Well, the vast majority are from the UK, my country of birth, the country that I hold a passport for. That's where they're from. So that's where I need to do my work on this. This is where I will need to contact those agencies, those private agencies, and there are plenty of them actually, and they're pretty good. I'm going to contact them and I'm going to make sure I work and liaise with those people. I cannot go into detail about what I plan to do, but I do have plans up my sleeve. And guys, I am holding out my hand to the YouTube world. To all you people who were only a few weeks ago whinging about people from the diaspora asking for automatic citizenship. If you guys can mobilize over something as unimportant when it comes to comparing it towards the safety of your children, right? It isn't that important. If you can mobilize for something like that, then you can definitely mobilize in order to make sure your children are safe. To keep your children safe from these people. And if you want to do that, I'm all ears. You want to continue bitching about things which don't matter, then go ahead. Not long ago, I had an email from a concerned viewer, and this viewer told me that she was not happy about the fact that there are YouTubers out there proactively seeking these P-fills at this present moment. And some of them are out there and they're going towards them and they are being verbally abusive towards them. So somebody emailed me this. And I didn't do anything about it. And this is the reason why I didn't do anything about it. Because I knew that there was some truth in this matter. I knew that there was some truth behind this matter. Okay, you cannot 100% check for sure whether somebody is with some older European man that's with a small African child is being okay with them, that they are there for legal reasons and that man is not there to exploit that child. You can't tell that straight away. But for me, I don't care anymore. For me, it doesn't matter. They're all fair game. They all have to be fair game. And let me tell you the reason why. It's because these people who are coming over, who may not have anything to do with it, it's their responsibility too. It's their responsibility to tell the authorities when they see that something is not right. They need to speak up. It's their fellow countrymen that is coming over and doing this. So we can't pick and choose anymore and be like, well, this guy is oh, maybe this, that. No, all of them. Or every last one of them. All of them. They all need to be investigated in some way or another. Yeah, it may take things in-house. They may stop being as brazen as going on the beach with their little trophies. They may have to go underground. But when they do stuff like that, we can find them. It makes things easier for us to find them. I know that the crime agencies over in the United Kingdom are willing to do something. I know they have, and they have the power to do so. They've already done a lot in the Philippines, where people also sell their young ones for chump change. I don't know what's going on with these people, and worse, actually. The things that they do there in the Philippines is ungodly. I cannot even explain what they do on YouTube. They wouldn't post my video if I did. These people need to be destroyed. They cannot be reformed. They cannot be punished and then set back out in the streets. These people need to be obliterated. They need to be annihilated. They need to be taken out of society forever. The reporter says that the British government is refusing to do anything. Do you know why the British government are refusing to do anything? It's because they don't mind these PFILs travelling abroad and doing what they need to do over there in the little poor African country of the Gambia. Yeah, go ahead. Just stay away from our children. Stay away from our children. But yeah, you can just go, just do whatever you got to do with the little black kids. That's the reason why. This is the reason why we need to take it on ourselves. But we cannot go at it with our emotions and our feelings, all exposed. Because if we do like what Cathey did, or what some of these YouTubers have been doing and going up to these people and pointing at them, if we do that, we're not going to solve anything. We need to be as cold and intentional just as they are. We need to plan, then we need to execute. I'm sure that the people of the Gambia, the good people of the Gambia, and I know the good people of the Gambia, and even the good people in the diaspora, they all agree with me with this one. There isn't anybody that would say, "Oh, do you know what? We can't. We've got to be careful here." No. Let us take care of our children. Let us save them. Let us make sure that they are safe. Then afterwards, we'll do whatever needs to be. We'll be held to account if we have done something wrong. But the children need to be saved first. They come first. Let's make sure that they come first. What I plan to do needs to be done covertly. It needs to be done secretly. So after this, I'm not going to really talk much about it. If you want to be a part of it, if I know you already, guys, please send me an email. Even if you don't know me, please send me an email. tuntalks@gmail.com. That is tuntalks@gmail.com. And we can discuss whether you will be useful to this campaign. Right now, you have many YouTubers from the Gambia, and I know a lot of them, they talk as if, their sovereignty is everything and that they are proud Gambians. But how can you be a proud Gambian while this is happening in your country? And you know it's happening. You know it's happening, but you choose not to do anything. How can you even sit there in front of the camera and start trying to defend your nation whilst this is happening? At this moment, right, at one point you guys were all slagging off Art Cathey. Everyone was talking bad about Art Cathey, about how she was a danger to the Gambian society. But she wasn't a danger. These people are. They will destroy your children. The most important assets in your society are your children. You cannot allow these people to get their grubby hands on them. Under no circumstances can you allow that to happen. It needs to stop. And the fact is that our Cathey said something about this. All you guys called her a fraud. But right now, at this moment, she's not looking like the fraud. Do you know who's looking like a fraud? Yeah. All those people that were coming online, talking about this, that and the other, talking about things which weren't important, right? Targeting people. Targeting Juliet, targeting Art Cathey, targeting people about things which does not matter. Art Cathey went. You guys went back, things have gone back to normal. Did anybody die? Has anybody been, abused to the point in which they won't be able to go out anymore? They won't be able to live a normal life? No. Art Cathey was full of hot air. You know that. You know that. And what Juliet from Blacksit is doing, how much people is it going to affect? Do you think that the heaven's gates are just going to come over there and take their little passports and run away with it? No, they're not. There are many diasporans who have their British and French and Norwegian passports who are happy to go and live in the Gambia without having citizenship. Okay? It's not what you think it is. Okay? So it's not important. Right now, you need to make sure you do something about this. It is up to you. People are going to be watching you to see if you do something. Because if you put out another video talking about, I don't know, whatever you guys talk about, I don't tend to watch your videos too often if I need to be honest with you. You know who I'm talking about, by the way. But, I genuinely don't care about anything else anymore. If Art Cathey comes over back and she comes and help us in this, then I will welcome her with open arms. At least she had the balls to do something about it while she was over there. Okay? She did something. I can't put her down for that. You've seen the horde of videos that I've made about her. Not one positive video about her, right? Not one positive video about her. But that's one thing I must say about her. She had the guile to do something when all you other people didn't. And most of those people are not from the diaspora. And I'm talking specifically about those Gambian YouTubers who have been misplacing their attention. I ask you now. Now you know something is happening. I'm doing something. Contact me. If you really want to make a difference in your country, then please contact me. And we can do something. We can make a difference. We can start to generate a culture within your society to make sure that these people don't end up making you guys look like fools. Because that's what's happening now. And it's all over the news. It's over the British news. And do you know what's going to happen? When it comes on the British news, do you think that the P-Fils are going to be like, oh, well, I'm not going there anymore? No, the P-Fils are going to be like, wow, I've never heard of this place before. Well, I'm going to pack my bags and I'm going to go there right now because everybody's going there apparently. That's what's going to happen. Things are going to get worse. Now that they know that people are even more desperate for money, more desperate than what they were before the holiday goers stopped going because of the V, right? Now that they know they're even more desperate, more people are going to be coming. And we need to be organized and ready for when they come. And when they come, God help them. So guys, if you have any comments, you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If you have any questions you want to ask to me directly, you have any comments you want to sort of throw at me, please do not hesitate to email me at tuntalks@gmail.com. That is tuntalks@gmail.com. Guys, I'm more than ready, more than willing to give up my liberty for these children. I promise you, I will do so. I will do whatever needs to be done. Okay, let's do something. Let's start to make our presence known. So guys, thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Until the next time, please think twice to our bit.